Lucas, and welcome to And the Winner Is. Yes, forget the Oscars and the BAFTAs. This is the Lucases, the awards that honour the achievements that other ceremonies overlook, in categories you won't find anywhere else. A Lucas can be awarded for anything, from the least worthy charity to the most satisfying revel. With me this evening are three guests who have all brought along their own nominations for each of our awards. Please welcome Katy Brand, James Corden and Graham Linehan. Welcome. Katy, do you have a favourite awards ceremony?
I do have a favourite award ceremony, which is the National Television Awards.
Right.
Which some cruel people say was invented by ITV because they never won any BAFTAs. And it starts off quite dignified around the boxes of the Albert Hall, where all the executives sit. But as the evening goes on, the distant award ceremony starts to become even more distant and far away, as if it's just happening on the telly. Trevor McDonald about half a mile away going on about some stuff. And all the television executives basically having an orgy at the Albert Hall, completely ignoring it. And it's just a real laugh. It's a lot of fun.
And again, it's just nice to get out of the house, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to get out.
Yeah. James, you've recently won almost half as many awards as me. What award haven't you won that you'd really like to win next?
I always fancy my chances at Sports Personality of the Year.
Right.
I've always sort of been overlooked, but I feel like I've got quite a sporting personality, and that it should be recognised.
What sports would you like to be considered?
No, I just like my personality.
Oh, he's just sort of he's very sporty.
Yeah, he's got a good personality. So I did like a sporting sketch for comic relief.
Yes, you did.
Because also, I'm always confused by Sports Personality because a lot of the people that win it don't have very good personality.
Well, that's it. Graham, you have won awards for Father Ted, the IT Crowd and Black Books. What's been your favourite moment at an awards do?
Well, it's seeing the ramp at the BAFTAs, because our producer is disabled, and he also worked on The Office, and he knew that if there was a ramp at the front of the stage, then we probably won. So we'd have to go to the BAFTAs, and Ash would say, "There's no ramp."
Are you serious?
Unfortunately, but surely there was one year at the Comedy Awards where Stephen Hawking came on and presented one, wasn't it? Which must have thrown you horribly.
Yeah, but he was lowered.
I hate Stephen Hawking.
Why?
I hate him.
Really?
Yeah. It's not what he says, it's the way he says it.
Yes. So it's time for our first award of the evening. Now, I did have a really great introduction for this award, but unfortunately I left it on the bus. But what about those people whose alibis haven't quite been as inventive as mine? Nominations, please, for the Lucas for lamest excuse of all time. James.
Eddie Murphy being caught with a transsexual prostitute in his car. He said that he was giving her a lift home.
OK. Graham?
It's a story involving my mum, a cat and a piano.
And Katy?
Mine is Hamid Karzai, the president of Afghanistan, for saying that the reason he'd signed a bill which drastically reduced women's rights in Afghanistan was that he hadn't really read it.
OK. So the nominations for lamest excuse of all time are Eddie Murphy's "I'm just giving this transvestite prostitute a lift," My Mum and the Cat and the Piano, and Hamid Karzai saying he'd signed the law drastically reducing women's rights in Afghanistan because he hadn't really read it. James, why have you chosen Eddie Murphy?
I think it's a wonderful story, because at every stage it gets better. So Eddie Murphy picked up a post-op transsexual prostitute in his car, and he's driving along, and then the police pull them over. And Eddie Murphy says, "No, I was just giving her a lift home."
Do the voice. No,
he will only be racist.
No, it's not racist because it's American. So
I
you
don't
just
know.
say it's American and then no one will think it was black. So do the voice.
He goes, "Yeah, I was just giving her a lift home."
No, that is racist. You're right. No, that was racist. That was racist. You've come on my show and been racist. So, in a way, you've let everyone down.
He says, "I'm just giving her a lift home."
Yeah.
Apparently, the police get his autograph and a photo and go, "Of course you're running her home. What a great thing to do. Let Eddie Murphy go and arrest the prostitute." Eddie Murphy then kind of just started digging a deeper hole where he was going, No, I do this all the time." And everyone went, "What?" And he went, "No, I pick up transsexual prostitutes all the time, and because they're in hell, I'm a good Samaritan. It's what I do. I'm a great guy." And that's
I think Eddie Murphy was silly. What he should have said is like, oh no, I'm doing research for the Clumps, and like, because where I play, on Norbit, where I like play a woman
my favourite
who
bit
looks like a man.
My favourite bit in every Eddie Murphy trailer is when the trailer guy gets really overexcited by the fact that Eddie's playing more than one person, and he goes, starring Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy. I love that. That's my favourite bit.
The last one is always so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's always like, and Eddie Murphy. And it's like a dog.
Yeah, or a car.
I think Eddie Murphy, I might have got this wrong, but I think most of his family live with him in sort of little bungalows.
No, they're all played by him. It's him.
No.
It's just him.
In actual life.
It's him 8 times.
Yeah.
He leaves the room, changes, comes back in.
He comes
says,
back
what's
in
for
and
dinner?
goes,
Then he leaves the room.
You know I ain't wearing no shoes. And then goes out and comes back in and she goes, why are you going to wear those shoes? And he comes back and goes, damn it, woman, you know I ain't wearing no shoes.
That's it. And they're all
A
very...
5-minute conversation takes an hour.
And they're all very flatulent as well, aren't they? Yeah. Graham, what is your lamest excuse of all time?
Well, it's both lame, but it was true. Mm-hmm. It's a weird case. My mother was visiting someone she didn't know very well, and she was brought into this woman's living room, and there was a piano with the lid up and an open window. That's the 2 things you need to know about this room. And my mother sat down, and the woman said, would you like a cup of tea? My mother said, yes. The woman leaves the room. So my mother's sitting there for a few seconds, and the next thing, through the open window, a cat just appears and hops down onto the floor. And my mother goes, oh, hello, and reaches over and tries to pet it. And the cat goes nuts and jumps up onto the sofa, runs around behind her, and runs around the circumference of the room. And every time it gets to the piano, it goes, dang, 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 dang. Runs around again, dang, 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 dang. Runs around again, dang, 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 dang. Runs out, jumps out the window. And the woman who owned the house came in and just looked at my mother, who was sitting there. So she said, my mother just kind of understood and said, oh, no, it was a cat. It was the cat. And the woman said, we don't have a cat. So it looked like my mother just waited for her to leave the room, ran over, went bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. And then ran back and sat down. So that's my nomination.
I think that's a beautiful story.
We tried to put it in Father Ted, and the producer said, no one will believe it.
They won't believe it. Katy, your lame excuse.
Yeah, Hamid Karzai, who is the president of Afghanistan.
I'm glad you told me that, because I am thick as... I mean, I know nothing.
There are elections coming up in Afghanistan, and he has signed a bill last year to sign away some of the women's rights for the Shiite community, which is a part of Islam in Afghanistan.
I don't think you should call them that. I think it's not... Sorry.
I mean, the underlying story isn't very funny.
No.
This, sort of... but no, he signed away all these rights in order to appease the sort of more conservative element in Afghanistan. Now, this provoked absolute international outrage because he effectively legalised marital rape and also that women weren't allowed out of the house without permission from a relative, and took it all the way back to the kind of terrible, dark Taliban days. So his response to that was, oh, that one, yeah. No, because I hadn't really read that one before I signed it. You're the president of Afghanistan. That is the lamest excuse I've ever heard. You've just limited the rights of millions of women in your country because you hadn't really read it. And I just thought maybe Hamid Karzai doesn't really know about anything that's been happening at all. You wouldn't want to be in the room where someone explained 9/11 to him. He's like, but this is awful. Well, no, it's just I haven't got a telly. So I had no idea.
Well, because of the Taliban,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
My only thing with this is that I don't see it as a lame excuse. I actually see it as an honest answer. Do you know what I mean? And, I think if we can find any good in him, it's that he at least just went, yeah, I haven't read it. He was just honest. He held his hands up. He's got hands, right? It's not that one.
Yeah. No, he's the one... No, he's got some, yeah. Okay. No, the other one. No, he's not Captain Hook. No, he's not Captain Hook. Yeah, no.
It's not Dustin Hoffman.
No, exactly, no. He's not the sexy cleric. No, he's the one,
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of think, well, at least he just went,
least
yeah, I
he's
didn't
being
read it,
honest.
I hadn't read it.
Well, I think they're all pretty lame excuses. I've got to decide who's going to win this award. Let's have a think about it. Now, the cat story is just a delight, whether it's but it's a lame excuse, but it's a real excuse.
It is true,
You see. So I think it's between the one whose name sounds like a toilet. What is it? Kazi?
Hamid Karzai.
Hamid Kazi. You can tell I'm well read.
Yeah.
And as for Eddie Murphy, no, I think Eddie is very benevolent. So, for that reason, we're going to award the Lucas for lamest excuse of all time to Hamid Karzai.
Yeah.
Now, for us humble British subjects, meeting an actual member of the royal family is the stuff of dreams. Unless, of course, you are A, a posh, B, a member of the BNP attending a garden party, or C, a fox about to be ripped up. The rest of us must study the wonderful royals with awe from a respectful distance. And what do we see? A nice elderly lady who sits in a big chair and wears a metal hat. Her lovable husband, who makes hilarious jokes about ethnic minorities to ethnic minorities, and their children, including my personal favourite, Andrew, the one who is most famous for playing polo and going on dates with pretty ladies. That's right, he fannies about with horses and horses about with fannies. But what about all the other royals, the ones who are just there? You know, like the bald one with the beard, who you don't really know who he is, but sometimes you see him presenting the FA Cup. And the players are like, which one are you? And he's like, I don't even know myself. So let's hear the nomination, please, for the Lucas for most pointless member of the royal family. Katy.
Mine is Princess Michael of Kent.
James.
Prince Edward.
And Graham.
Prince Morris.
So the nominations for most pointless member of the royal family are Princess Michael of Kent, Prince Edward, and Prince Maurice. Katy, what do you have against Mary Christine Agnes Hedvig Ida von Reibnitz?
She just sort of constantly makes these little gaffes, whereby sort of a long time ago she allegedly said to a group of black diners in a New York restaurant that they were making so much noise they should just go back to the colonies. And then as she left, she tried to make it better by telling the assembled press that they were just a group of rappers, which I just find a hilarious perception of anyone black.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh, they were probably a group of rappers.
Yes. Or athletes.
Who should get back to the colonies. I mean,
Yes.
it's just a sort of fascinating window into the mind of Princess Michael of Kent.
I've not met her, believe it or not, but I know that her son, Lord Frederick,
Yes,
is shortly to marry Claudia Winkleman's sister.
that's right, yes.
Yeah.
And they are both lovely people.
Are they? Do you know them both?
I have met them both.
Well, hang on a minute. So you've met Frederick Windsor and he was really nice?
Yeah.
And you're now coming on radio slagging off his mum?
Yeah. You and your mum. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying to her.
James, your most pointless member of the royal family is...
Prince Edward.
And why?
Because where is he?
What did he say? Where
Where is he?
I don't know.
Like, what's he doing?
Well,
Where is he? What's he doing? And why isn't it more interesting?
Yes, OK.
Because unlike Katy, I want my royal family to be slagging people off, racist, going to parties wearing swastikas, getting drunk. Give me something. Just do something. Be somewhere or get out.
OK.
The law should be that all members of the royal family are on Twitter and, right, and they must tweet a minimum of 6 times a day.
But
6
Twitter's
tweets a day.
inane. It would just be just picking up corgi poo again.
Great!
Having toast and soldiers with real soldiers or something.